Hey guys, so today we're gonna be doing a unboxing of a lot of O-Gauge stuff I got from a really good friend of mine. These were his grandpa's, and they were passed down to him, and he really wasn't getting much use out of it, so he ended up giving them to me. So Brendan, if you're watching this, I really appreciate it. So let's just dig right into it. There's a lot of MTH stuff here. So I got this box for a Z750, and alright, so inside there is a Z750 in it, and a couple of wires for it. We got this box up here, and this is this looks like a K-line cattle car for the Chicago Northwestern. And both the couplers on this one are unfortunately broken. The tabs have been broken off, but it's still a really neat car, and I love the Chicago Northwestern paint scheme, so I'm definitely going to find a good use for this. Moving along, we have another Z750 box. I believe this is the brick. Yeah, so this is the actual power for the transformer, and this one has this has a 4 amp breaker on it. And let's see if we keep going. We got this box up here. And this is a K-line transformer. This is pretty unique. I've never seen something like this. So it's got there's a button here to push for the whistle. There's a couple different terminals here. And then there's a whistle and horn side, and then other side, which would be for bell, I would assume. And then, let's see, we got this box up here. And, okay, so this is a box of, MTH reel tracks. So, these are, I would assume, are 036 radius. So these are pretty cool. This will be my first reel tracks. I'm gonna have to get some other pieces for this because this does not make a full loop. I know this only makes a what's in this box only makes a circle, and then there's one straight. So I have to get another straight to make a whole loop, but no biggie. So here, this is the only MTH Premier item. This is the only scale item. And if we open it up, so this is I believe this is true 1/48 scale. This is a New York Central boxcar. This is a MTH. It says in the corner here, it says MTH Railroaders Club 1999. So this is a really this is an older car, 21 years give or take. So that's it's really cool. New York Central. This is their green paint, and it's got sprung trucks and stuff like that. Let me see what the box says about it. This is yes, this is 1999. It does not say the type of boxcar, it just says New York Central boxcar, but it looks pretty close to a PS1 style boxcar, so this is really cool. Put that off to the side. This is another MTH club car. This is a Rail King club car. Just as MTH club boxcar. If we open it up here, this one's got some really interesting paint scheme to it. And this one is like mint condition. Say, let's see, MTH Railroaders Club, charter member. So this is pretty cool. It's got sprung trucks. It's the semi-scale, I believe. Not that it matters, because it's obviously a fictitious car. The doors do open on the sides, and it's, the trucks are metal, couplers appear to be metal, and then it's got a really nice solid plastic, body, so that's really cool. It's a pretty unique car, and, looks great. And then, here's our first engine of the lot. Now, this one, I know for a fact, does not run. It needs parts. What I believe is the problem is either the board is fried, or one of the capacitors on the board is fried or blown. So, we'll have to fix this. Now, this is a MTH Rail King. This is a PS1, so Proto Sounds 1. Chassis system F3. So this is a pretty cool engine. I like the chassis system paint. I do not have any chassis system items. In any scale, as a matter of fact. When I had HO, I did have a chassis system SD40-2. Let's take this out here. So yeah, this does not run. This is the version that has the single horn on top. I don't know why they would put a single horn if all these engines had two horns, as far as I'm aware of, but I guess one is better than none, and this is the high fan version, so it's got the higher fans on top. Yeah, it's a really solid locomotive. I do not have any MTH engines, so this will be my first one. So what's gonna happen is if I cannot get parts for this cheap, because again, this is Proto Sound 1, and then with MTH going out of business, which is really unfortunate. I'm gonna probably, if I can't get parts, I'm gonna have to convert this to a dummy engine, which is really unfortunate, but it's definitely a solid engine. It's definitely got solid metal to it. The plastic feels sturdy enough. So yeah, now let's get into this big old K-Line box here. So this is Santa Fe Fast Freight K-Line set from what I would assume is the 90s, maybe early 2000s. So why don't we set this back down here, and I will try and get as many good shots as I can here. And I believe the Chicago Northwestern cattle car is from this set. So, starting with up here, we have a nice little Pennsylvania hopper. Now, the thing about all these cars in this set is these are very small, even for O gauge. Like, compared to a semi-scale Lionel boxcar that I'll show this K-Line one, is they're even smaller than the post-war era stuff. So, if we show this one, so here's a Southern Pacific boxcar, and these are very small. These are almost like American Flyer size, which is for S scale, which is pretty funny. But yeah, and this one, the couplers does have both the coupler tabs. It's missing a door, but that's a-okay. So, this was built in 1993 by K-Line. It says right on there, so pretty old, but it's cool. And then we got a caboose here, Santa Fe. I'm sure this one is lighted because it has some pickup rollers on it. Hopefully the light works. Now what's interesting is this boxcar I showed says that this was built in 1993, but this caboose says 1999, so that's pretty interesting. Was that a 6-year difference or something like that? So then if we get to the engine here, this is a switcher. This is a what type of switcher is this? The MP15, I want to say. Yeah, it's an MP15 Santa Fe. It's pretty cool. This one I know for a fact has a horn. Don't know how well it's gonna sound. This is actually a pretty decently sized engine, I think, for considering how small the cars in this set are, but it's definitely a cool engine. And then if I lift up the foam tab here. If I get these little pieces out and lift up the foam. So in here we have some of this K-line track. Assume this is 036 as well. Maybe 031. It's a power track. Looks like some styrofoam packing from the other boxes. Another K-line transformer. Interesting. And here's the Real Trax lock-on. Some various paperwork and stuff for both K-line and MTH. And then there's some of this other track, this tubular track. Some more wires and stuff. Some various railroad signs and stuff like that. So yeah, overall some pretty cool stuff. So let me put all this stuff off to the side, and we can make a nice little consist here of some of this stuff. So yeah, let's go do that. Alright, so I set up the Santa Fe switcher on the tracks here, and to give some idea about what I was talking about earlier. So here are all the cars that are functional that I got today, and to give some idea about what I was talking about. So this is the K-line boxcar, and these are incredibly small even for O gauge. So I'll show that, and then this is a O gauge boxcar. So let me see if I can get these all in frame here. So there's a pretty significant difference between the two, both height-wise, length-wise, and width. So there is that. And then an O scale boxcar, which is 1/48 scale, compared to the O gauge boxcar. This one is even more of a difference than the other one was, the smaller one to the O gauge boxcar. And this one is definitely also wider, taller, and longer. So, and then here's a overhead view of those three. And then behind it I put the Pennsylvania hopper and the Santa Fe caboose. So let's take this little engine for a spin. Now I did mention before that this engine does have a horn. It really isn't that loud at all. I mean, when you're running the train you cannot even hear it, but here's a little listen at the horn. I mean, I don't know if you can even hear that on camera, but it sounds better sometimes, and sometimes it sounds like that, but that's basically what you have for a horn on this. So let's get it moving here. One thing I will say about this engine, it's pretty fast for what it is. I'm only using an 80-watt transformer, and this thing will fly down the tracks. So, I previously mentioned earlier in this video that this engine does not run. However, after playing around with it for a couple minutes, what had happened was, I got this engine before from my friend that, he lent it to me, and, it wasn't working, it was shorting, and, it wasn't moving at all, and I opened it up, and I don't know a lot about MTH engines, but I knew that the battery that comes in them is no good, so I replaced that. And I guess what happened was I must have got distracted or something, and I did not test this engine after I replaced the battery. Because, much to my surprise, when I put this thing on the track today, it actually ran. So, I'm pretty happy with that. That was a nice little surprise when this thing ran. This will be my first MTH engine, and I gotta say that I've been playing with this for a couple minutes. The sounds are great. I believe this engine's from the mid to late 90s, maybe the early 90s, but it has some really great sounds. I mean, this is better than anything Lionel was doing at the time, so this is it's a really neat engine, so let's take it for a spin here. Well, guys, I appreciate you watching, and if I don't post any more videos before Christmas, I hope everyone who's watching has a great Christmas. And I do plan on having another video out before New Year's. But if that doesn't happen, Happy New Year too. Bye, guys.